Hi there, in this tutorial we're going to look at cameras where things start moving around and zooming in and you can make it look cool. I don't know. Cameras, let's go and look at how to do those. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is to add a camera. We do that under Layer, under New, under Camera. And by default it's probably set to a 2-node camera. Switch it to a 1-node camera, it's just simpler. Okay, and make sure depth of field is turned off. Give it a name. Nah, just leave it as camera 1. Let's click OK. Now, depending on where your camera ends up, you might want to drag it to the top. It doesn't really matter. It's just really common to drag your cameras to the top. Kind of battled it out for this vignette. Now, you would have got an error message on yours saying, hey, hang on, you created a camera, but none of the layers can be seen yet. Okay, mine's been disabled. All that means is that the camera can't see any layers in my comp until I turn these on. Watch this, I'm just dragging across these all. Okay, I'm gonna say, oh, all of these are on. The background layer needs to be unlocked and turned on. Okay, I want to turn all of these on, maybe not the vignette. I don't want that seen by the camera. They can just stay around the edges there. What that means is, let's look at a before and after. So my camera here, I'm gonna twirl it down. Now we're looking at this one view. You can see it down here, and that most of the time is where you wanna be. In this case, we're gonna go to 2 views horizontal to have a separate view to actually see my camera. There he is there, hello. There's my little camera pointing at my plane. Okay, so we're looking down on the top, and that's this. We're looking down at the razor edge of it right there. Now this view is not handy for me at the moment. I find the best view is, let's click on this side. You can see these little blue dots in the corners, means I've got this side selected, and it means that I can say top, I'm gonna go to this custom view 1. And it gives you kind of a good look at it. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So that's what's happening, right? I've got this camera over here, okay, and he is pointing and shooting at this. You can see even my text off screen. Watch this, if I play head, watch him. Actually, there he goes. He appears up there and disappears down. Okay, so this is what ends up getting exported, but this is a handy view just to see what's going on. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to show you, if I have these off, look what happens. I'm gonna get rid of all of these, get rid of that. You can see the camera can't see them unless this is on. It's all on except for vignette. And what we're going to do is we're going to play it till it gets to about maybe, so I want that to appear on the regular screen. And then just before this second one appears, okay, my wife, okay, I'm going to get the camera to move. So let's get our keyframe at about 706. Yours is going to be slightly different. And what we're going to do is we're going to twirl down the camera and we're going to open up transform. We're going to set the stopwatch going for position. So we want it to stick there. And then just before this one opens, so maybe just when you start seeing the circle, I would like to change the position. So the first one is I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so grabbing this last, that's X, Y, and Z is the last one. Z is in and out, X and Y is left and right. So I'm going to zoom in quite a bit. Okay, and then dragging these, it's heaps easier to drag these than to use. There's some camera tools up here, but when you're new, even me, okay, I use it lots, but I prefer doing it this way. Everyone has their own style. Okay, so what's going to happen now is, cool. So it's kind of in the middle there. I'm going to come back a little bit and maybe just holding shift to snap it to it and maybe just down a little bit so it's right in the center. Cool. A couple of things I'm going to need to do is my computer's struggling a little bit. So I'm down at quarter. Okay. So a low res resolution, and I'm going to turn off the sound. Okay. Because that slows things down as well. And what did I just turn off? I don't even know what I clicked. I'm going to turn these off. Okay, and there we go. So hopefully now it'll render a bit quickly. Nice. Q. It's going along, it's doing its thing, and then zooms in. Now, the camera is a little bit on the crappy side in terms of we want to kind of grab these two guys and add some easing. So right click them, just like we did everything else. 75, 75. Let's have a little look. It's got a nicer kind of motion to it. It goes along and then cool. So what we're going to do now is put in 2 little keyframes every time we want to move it. So I'm going to scrub along, okay, and I can only just see it, but see, you can see use this view here, okay. The other thing is you can see this guy zooming in because we moved to the Z position over that time. So that's my little camera moving in, okay. So when I get to just before this appears, so maybe just a bit there, okay, I'm going to set a keyframe. Okay, so I'm going to set a manual keyframe to say between this one and this one, don't change. And then a little bit longer, I'm going to maybe a little bit earlier. I'm going to start messing this. I'm not going to play with the Z anymore. Okay, I'm going to play with just the X and the Y and get all of these guys to line up in the middle now every time a new icon appears. Okay, it's remembered the remembered the easing from the last time I did it, which is quite cool. Here we go. Yep. Next one. Cool. I'm just going to do that as this thing builds, okay, and yeah, keep doing it for the next one. So it's a couple of things. We've done the easing. The other one is motion blur. The motion blur is on for the whole document because we did it in an earlier tutorial, but at the moment, only thing being accepted by it is this. We've only turned it on for the text layer because remember it slid down off the screen and we turned it on. I'm going to turn it on for the rest of these. Why? Because let's have a little look. We'll find out before. So, great. So when it starts moving, so it's moving, right? There's no motion blur. Okay, so I'm going to keep it here. I'm going to turn it up to full resolution so I can show you properly. So it's in super crystal clear, but it's kind of moving quite fast. So what I want to do is actually turn the motion blur on all these layers. Watch it. I'm going to let go. You see it's blurring now. So it just means that when it's moving, okay, it's getting all zoomy and blurry. Okay, so we do it to the icons and we even do it to the image in the background. Okay, down the bottom here, the image background, turn it on for that one as well. Watch. See, it's getting kind of blurry, so when it's moving quite fast, it's hard to preview, okay, because my machine's running a little bit slow. Give it a second. My fans are on. Hopefully you don't have the same problem. It's not a particularly complex animation. It's because I'm trying to do it all with, while doing screen capture recording, okay. There we go, we kind of get it, right? So it's moving and blurring, okay? You get the point. So what I'm going to do now is just work my way around the document, keeping an eye on this and moving this around. So maybe we'll speed this up. I'll see you at the end. All right, let's jump back in quickly here. And you notice that I kind of saw, if I want to get this in the dead center, I might have to see a bit of the red. Okay, so if you don't want to do that, what you might have to do is either move the icon down or down here for the background layer. Okay, we're going to have to open up the scale. Okay, so we're going to open up transform. We're going to go to scale and we're just going to make it a bit bigger. Okay, so that there's not as much edge to see. Okay, it does have some ramifications, as in when I zoomed all the way out, I'm cropping a bit off. You can see in the edges here, but it means when I zoom in, there's a bit more kind of like fluff around the outside or bleed. Okay, bleed's probably a better word. Okay, so back to going fast. Okay, so we're back, and probably for this last one, I'm just going to kind of get it here. Instead of doing just over, I'm actually going to zoom back out, okay, to what it was at the beginning. What was it at the beginning? Okay, I'm going to hover above this, and it was the Z. It was minus 2,266.6. Okay, so I'm going to go back to here just afterwards. Instead of just moving it, I'm going to type it out to this. Okay, and actually I want all of the settings there, so I'm going to actually just go and steal the keyframe. Okay, this is a cool trick. If I want it to be exactly where that is now, okay, where it's full view and I can see everything, just actually copy it. Okay, go over here. Okay, I'm going to delete this one and just hit paste. Okay, you can paste keyframes like that. Cool, so the last one. Whoop. Nice. Cool. All right, I'm just going to scrub through it so it all kind of moves around and picks up all the different icons. You can see the path, okay, of the camera there. Zoop, 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 as it moves around, okay, and then zooms all the way out on the last one, my finale. All right, that is how to use a one-node camera. We've used it quite extensively. Okay, we've moved it around quite a bit. You might just have a couple little things where you just move it around a little bit. All right, let's get on to the next tutorial.